Watching Kyle's unboxing videos again?
Yeah, he always finds the coolest... No way! A robot dog? Gotta ask where he got it.
Or use your Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Just draw a circle around the dog on your screen, and it shows you where to buy it right in the app.
Whoa, I just learned a new trick. And that for once, I beat Kyle to the next big thing.
Circle it, find it with the new Galaxy S24 Ultra and circle the search with Google. Get yours now at Samsung.com. Internet connection required. Results may vary based on visuals.
ABCs. Welcome to the Bare Naked ABCs, where we discuss every Bare Naked Lady song from 7 to Y. And joining me tonight are the people that I think are some fantastic, my wonderful co-hosts, Heidi and Betsy.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I'm eating a cupcake.
I'm wondering what you're eating
It's
over there.
fantastic.
I was just going to ask, is it some fantastic?
Fantastic. It's some cupcake.
And balancing out our panel tonight so that I'm not the only male in the room, or at least I'm assuming, is Tyler Boudreau.
Hey, guys. You know, I love it when we get a new co-host. Hi, Betsy.
Hi.
What's up?
It's been a hot minute since you've been on, huh, Tyler?
Yeah. I like to make my once every 4 months appearance.
Quarterly.
But I requested this song a long time ago.
Yes, you did.
In the galaxy far away.
I think
And
it was
you
one of the
didn't
first
get anyone-
songs that you requested for.
You didn't get anyone more prominent than me in the meantime, so
No new people. Lots of people wanted it. I was just like, we've already got someone for this song. It's got to be a brand new person in order to bump Tyler off.
yeah. Stave him off.
So if you don't know what song we're talking about tonight, we are talking about the Stephen and Ed song, Some Fantastic. If you have never heard this song from Stunt before, here is a quick snippet.
There's a lot I will never do. Some fantastic, I know it's true, but not as much as my want to be with you.
I am so interested to
Gotta do
hear
the rubbery
My
voice.
dog
Heidi
just
break
went
this
up the
down.
stairs with a blanket.
I really wish that we had Aaron for this one because I really wanted to ask him what album this came from.
It is a weird one because it does feel like it's from Everything to Everyone a bit.
That was everything to everyone. That cupcake, man.
Some fantastic burp.
I would have said that this song sounds more like early, like this is one of the few on this album that sounds like the first 3 albums.
Or it could be on Maybe You Should Drive too. Like that's the weird thing. It has a wide spread.
It's widespread, yes. And it's also got a lot of verses. Talk about widespread. It's like double verses. It's very interesting because the verses are double times 2. You get double the pleasure, double the fun with this one.
Well, do you know the double song title for this
Ivory, Ivory, and Ivory live together in no harmony.
What?
Not as good as the SNL version, but still.
Yeah, so the alternate name of this song is Ivory and Ivory.
Mm-hmm.
It's not on the outside of the case.
It's on the sheet music, though.
It's on the sheet music, and if you look on the inside, on the liner notes where the lyrics are, you will see, well, you can't see because it's so small, it says, Some Fantastic, quotation marks, Ivory and Ivory. Which I had never noticed before because I don't tend to go and look at the lyrics for the songs very often. But in pulling this out, I was like, oh yeah, that is there. It's not just something someone came up with. Like, and yes, they were making a joke about the Stevie Wonder Paul McCartney song, Ebony and Ivory, and the fact that Ed and Stephen are both Caucasian.
It's interesting though, because this song is probably the most dynamic duet.
Oh, it is.
in the Bare Naked Ladies discography. And I mean, if you think about it, right, you're getting the Steve and Ed singing duo on most early career BNL songs. Yes, usually one has the lead singing job and then one is doing background vocals, but usually both of their voices are present. But this one where it's back and forth every single time, I mean, there's a couple other songs where they do it, but this is definitely the most.
I think not only is it the most, it's the most on this album even. Like, and we're at the 12th song on this album before we get to that with this song. Because I'm looking through 1 week, yes, they share, but it's like chorus and verse. Yeah. It's All Been Done isn't really shared much. Light Up My Room, One Way, I'll Be That Girl, Steve, Leave, Ed, Alcohol, Steve, Call and Answer, Steve, In the Car, Steve, Never's Enough.
That's Ed.
Ed. I had to think about that one. Who Needs Sleep is Ed.
Well, you're never going to get it.
I've heard that many a time. Told You So is Ed. And then finally we come to this one where it's very much shared between the two of them. And when it comes to playing this is one of those few songs that has been shared since Steve left the band. So BNL has played it 11 times, well, 13 times since Steven left, but they just, they hadn't played it since 2013, and then this year, they dusted it off and played it twice in June of this year.
They getting Kevin to sing the Steve parts, or?
I don't know. And not only that, but of course we'll come back to it later on, but they also had the Persuasions version where they had the Persuasions take Steve part. And then Ed also played it once when he did a behind the mic kind of Zoom concert in live at one point. He did that as well in May of 2020. And Steve has played this song 12 times solo at his Live from Home. So both sides really love this song, obviously.
Live from Home is a little bit more you never know what you're going to get. He could play any old thing.
But I mean, 12 times, that's a lot of times.
He's done a lot of Live from Homes.
That's true. He's up somewhere around 95 at this point.
Just so we don't sound like idiots, the other main BNL duet song is, of course, If I Had $1 Million.
Right. Yes. But not on this album.
Yes. But in terms of literally call and answer back and forth, not literally call and answer, in terms of going back and forth between each singer, that one's the obvious one. But that's because it's a sing along, so it's very natural.
Right. And there are a few more, but this is one of the few times that they've come back to it. So yeah, why don't we go over to music? Heidi, why don't you give us a breakdown? I almost said Betsy, give us a breakdown.
So the breakdown. Obviously, Stunt 2015. The song running time is approximately 4 minutes and 16 seconds. It runs at about 163 beats per minute.
Wait, did you say Stunt 2015?
Oh, wait. No, that's wrong. Sorry, I can't read my own writing.
1998.
That's right. I don't know.
The year I was born.
Oh, my Lanta.
Baby.
Oh my God, you're younger than my daughter. My daughter was born in 97. Oh dear. Ed plays this capote at 3. I love his finger picking here. The form is you've got a little intro that's repeated. That's just this. And then you have verse 1. Isn't that good? Verse 1. And it's the verses are quite long, so they're almost like double verses. So you'd almost expect it to be done and go into chorus, but then it goes into another verse. So it's more like a double verse, and it rotates around the same chords. But you have verse 1, verse 2, chorus, verse 3, chorus, bridge, which is, as always, the bridges are some of my favorite parts of the song. I love the harmonies in the bridge. Then you get another verse, then you get the chorus, and then you get an outro, which is basically a reprise of the bridge. The chord structure is interesting because it just goes up the stairs, if you will. So you have a 1 chord to a minor 2 chord to a minor 3 chord back to a 2 chord. So it's like bum, 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 except it's minor. So, and you can hear that it just gradually goes up the stairs, then it comes back down. So in this case, because it's capo 3, the original key is B flat major, but in when you're capoed at 3, it shifts the key to G. So we have a 1 G to A minor 7 to B minor to A minor 7, and he does that twice. And the verses go around that same thing, with a slight change towards the end. So you get a 1 chord to a 2 chord to a 3 chord, with the 2 and 3 are minor chords in a G major progression. So you get a G to an A minor 7 to a B minor 7 to an A minor 7 back home to the tonic chord of G, then A minor 7, B minor 7, A minor 7 back to G, and that he does that twice. Then he shifts into E minor, which is interesting, which is a minor 6 chord, then back to a 2 chord and 6 to 2. So that's what he does. In the chorus, it shifts completely, and he has a 1 chord and a 5 chord, but that 5 chord has the 3rd in the bass. So it's what we call a D/F sharp if you're looking at guitar terminology, which means you're throwing that F sharp down on the bottom, which is the 3rd of the D chord. So a 1 chord to a 5 chord to a C add 9, which is Jeff's favorite chord, which is a 4 chord, and back to a 2, but this time your A7 is not minor, it's major. So it's a major 2, it's just a slight shift. So that is what happens in the chorus. And when it's a really interesting, because it's not just a 1-4-5-1 song. It's much more interesting. And in the outro, he does not land on the G. He lands on a 4 chord, which is the C add 9 chord. So I missed out on the best of you. That final chord does not resolve to the home tonic chord. So very interesting. And so that's the basic Reader's Digest condensed version, Heidi's Digest condensed version.
So in the outro, when he goes to bye bye, so are they? What's the chord that they're finishing on with the byes?
Bye bye self-respect. That part?
Well, he just bye bye
bye. He's going down from a G to a D. He's descending the scale there. So it G to, I think it's a D with the F sharp in the bass, to a C. So G to D to C. So it goes from.
So he's not even finishing on the 1 chord to finish the song.
Nope.
So
which you can hear,
leave you.
You can hear that pretty well. Sorry.
No,
which you can hear that pretty well on the Persuasions version, because they actually sing the last note. They auction up for the last note. Somebody does. And you can hear that it's not like the usual like root chord for the song. It's like a slightly different thing.
Yeah. And I mean, it does leave you wanting more. It does leave you not feeling completely relaxed at the end of it, which is what you're supposed to feel. I mean, you're not supposed to feel that at the end.
Actually at the end, he does go from G to D to C to A minor. And then I think he does land on a G at the very, very end. I need to double check that.
Maybe on the guitar strum, but not the
if you think alphabetically
note.
G, then D, C, A. And then I think he does have a final bye on a G. Let me check the sheet music. Yep. No,
all those buys you guys were singing, I thought we had NSYNC in the house.
I know. Bye, bye, bye.
Well, there are a lot of buys at the end of the song. It's almost like the NFL. There's so many buys in this.
Sports joke that I barely got. Yay! Go sports. Hey, Heidi, I have a question for you. For instrumentation. What's that thing in the? Well, I guess it's throughout the whole song. but it opens up with like a waka 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 kind of thing. It sounds like rubbery. I can't do any voices, so I do apologize.
Hold on.
Fonzie? Fozzie Bear?
Yeah, that would be a good cameo.
It's definitely Kevin doing something on a keyboard.
Yeah,
It's gonna be keys because
or a synthesizer or like some special.
It would have to be keys because so he's only listed as pianos and keys on this song.
Okay. Keys somewhere, some general sampling or something maybe.
You know, I keep keys in my pocket all day long. They are pretty loud. They should be a musical instrument.
They're using a go-go bells at the very beginning. A go-go bells are it's a percussion instrument, and what it is they look like cowbells, but they're more rounded in shape, and they're two sizes. So it looks like this.
Yeah, it's the one that has like a hook in between, and there's two bells that each one is a slightly different tone.
So this is a terrible drawing, but it looks kind of like there's a bell on top that's shorter. I can't draw backwards, and then a bigger one on the bottom.
So that's
they're two sizes, so they create two different timbres. So you've got a high one and a low one. The smaller is a lighter sounding one, and the larger one is a lower sounding one. Sure. Very common in Latin percussion kind of pieces and jazz.
Interesting you bring that up.
Yeah, there is a little bit of Latin flavor in
so
here.
Yeah, it is. And so the agogo bells, so it sounds kind of like a cowbell if you listen closely. It's that donk 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 donk. Those are agogo bells.
So that would either be Ed or Tyler playing that then, because they're the two people listed as percussion on this song. And since Ed is
I'm betting that would be
percussion,
Tyler because Ed's got the guitar stuff going. But
I would.
Well, they didn't necessarily record it.
Oh, that's true.
live.
They could have tracked it, right?
Well, and I'm thinking it's Ed because very rarely is Ed given any kind of percussion.
And he
list.
loves percussion. If he gets a chance to go on the drums, he's all about it. He's like Animal. Truly.
Yeah, but that's not a keyboard thing. Kevin comes in with the keyboards after at about 20 some odd seconds, but no, that's just a go-go bells. That's
no,
it.
I think Betsy's talking about the womp 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 womp.
Yeah.
Womp,
Oh, that
womp,
is.
womp, womp.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you. You do it so much better.
That would probably be the keys. I'm thinking either that or
which is kind
of a really weird thing on the guitar.
Which is think about like I mean I think later we'll also talk about like the Devo version where they're all playing it on guitars.
That was so weird.
Like you can imagine one of them playing that on the guitar, which is just a womp 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 womp.
Which Jim throws a fit.
Which that would totally be like.
I'm not hearing any of that. All I'm hearing is guitar and a go-go bells. At the very beginning, that's all I hear.
It starts at the beginning, but it's kind of throughout the whole
A very
thing.
good place to start.
I'm going to see that this weekend.
Are you?
Wow. You're going to see the sound?
Sound of Music, yeah.
How do you see the sound?
Pretty trippy. Some people can do
play.
it. You got to take the right pill.
I see the Long Island sound every day for my windows.
Long Island.
So while Heidi's doing her little analysis there and trying to figure it out, I wanted to bring up
it comes in the chorus. It's that ja 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 ja. Yeah, wah. Yeah, now I know what you're talking about.
So this song actually from the book Bare Naked Ladies, Public Stunts and Private Stories.
Yeah, that's something synthesized.
This song actually came together in the parking lot, and so it's interesting that once again we have Susan Rogers, who was a huge influence on this entire album, even though she was only there for the first half of production. Ed wanted to do kind of a Brazilian rhythm, so like I don't know why, but Rogers was like, you know what, Ed, you and Tyler go outside with the snare drum around your necks and just mess around with it for a while we're recording in here. And they put a couple of towels over the snares because, one for the volume, but also to make it sound better. And they played the whole song over and over again until the neighbors actually complained. And then they came back in and added in the snare drum and the other percussion instruments.
Yeah, that's interesting because I mean the whole story with 1 week is that Ed kind of improvised the lyrics. So the idea that it's just like go write something off the top of your head is like something that was just really working for them at that time in their lives.
You want to do Brazilian? Okay, not in my studio. Go outside, practice it, and then bring it back. You and Tyler go have a fun time while we're doing the other work in here.
I imagine that would like break up like monotony, or if they had like some sort of kind of writer's block to just get a change of scenery and just go play, essentially.
I just would love to see that though. Ed and Tyler out with their snare drums around their neck, neighbors, with the towels over the snare drum, just sitting there and playing around.
It's a shame that George Martin never told John and Ringo to just like go hang out in the street.
Well, I mean, you got the rooftop concert, so
it's good advice.
But yeah, this song, it definitely well, I guess the Bathroom Sessions recording makes you see how much Ed is at the base of this song.
Oh yeah.
He's the one giving it life, and Steve is just the one kind of, topping it off, making it nice and fresh.
Speaking of topping it off, the Bathroom Sessions.
There are truly bathroom sessions for that song.
Yes. I
utilize the entire bathroom. If you know what I mean.
love what Steven did at the beginning of that video. If you have not seen it, I don't want to ruin it.
Ed was unaffected.
Oh no,
I don't think he knew. He must not have known, or he would have lost it. Right?
Probably. Either that, they had done it a couple of times, and then they.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm immune now.
Yeah. Okay. In the zone.
The other thing, so I noticed in listening to the Bathroom Sessions one, and also one of the other ones, I don't remember, I listened to several versions this week. There's a change that happens with the guitar halfway through the verse, where you can hear the guitar and what the guitar is playing through the first half of the verse, and then he does something completely different in that second half that I have never heard before, because it's being covered up by the other instruments at that point.
I don't know what you mean, but
confusion on her face. Which I absolutely love, the look of.
What do you mean? Do you mean where he goes into the harmonics?
Here, I'll play the part that I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah, please do.
I gotta do the share screen, so it's gonna take me a second here, and I'll point out when it comes up.
Okay.
One day I will work with animals, all the tests I'm gonna do. All my stuff's completely natural, and when we're done, we'll boil them down with glue.
Right here.
That we can use to re-adhere your lips to mine if you were here.
I think he did that in the first half of the.
Yeah, he did.
So he changes up what he's doing with the guitar. He changes up the.
Yeah, he just slides up, and he's using some bar chord action and bringing it down. He's still using the same chords. He's just manipulating it differently on the fretboard.
Yeah, which I had never noticed before, because at that point in the song, it kind of gets covered up by the other instruments at that point. I love it. I love hearing that. I was like, oh my gosh, I like this piece too.
You can hear it in the harmonies on the Persuasions version too, when they go they're matching the guitar part a little bit there.
Glue that we can use to re-adhere your lips to mine if you were here.
And the other thing that I found, I'm gonna have Tyler share his piece in a minute, but the other really interesting version that I found this week that was really cool was the one that I found from the Au Natural tour, which again I will share a screen so you guys can hear it. They do something. Kevin is on a completely different instrument, and so the sound is different. That's all I can say. I don't like it as much, but I think some people might. But let me play it for you guys.
I love the cover.
Yeah, Heidi, do you hear the bleeps and bloops? That's what we were talking about, I think.
Okay, yeah. Now I hear it.
Yeah. So in changing the instrument, you can hear what Betsy was talking about earlier, because as soon as Betsy and
it was way more up front. I could not hear that in the studio version very well at all. So.
Yeah, it's mixed really low in the studio version.
Yeah, it really, really is.
Do we need to have another mixing contest for this song?
Oh boy.
I like the mix on this. I don't know.
For Stefan's version, he'll just take out the bleeps and bloops, I guess. It's not a
now,
bleeper or a blooper.
Tyler, you were also talking about the DEVO version of this that they did in Mansfield, Mass. Do you guys, while I'm loading that up for people, do you have any things to say about that?
I liked the premise of it. Like they almost make a little sketch out of it where they're Jim's complaining how that he wants to do something different, something that they don't they do the same thing every night.
Hold on, you can't come in here. Hey, Ken, get the camera out of here.
Hey, nobody in the dressing room! Nobody in the dressing room!
No, this is not the way to be, man. This has got to change.
Hey, look, can you turn the camera off for a second?
No. Leave it on. I want everybody to hear this. Right? We got to change here. We do the same thing night after night. Drums, bass, guitar, drums, bass, guitar.
Look,
it's
Jim,
boring.
Jim, we got an audience out there. We got to go back out and do the show. We have no choice.
No, I hate this. Look,
Look, we can fix it. We can do whatever you want. We'll change it however you want, man.
Look, I'll believe it when I see it. And whatever it is, if it happens, it's got to be different.
Oh, it'll be different.
Let's do something different. And then they come out with like the white jumpsuits, not jumpsuits, like paint suits even. And they all have guitars. And then they sing this song and everyone's kind of playing a repeated riff on a guitar and it's kind of layered together. It just doesn't work quite as well for what the energy of this song is. No. Like if you're going to completely deconstruct a Bare Naked Lady song, pick a different one.
Do a mad scientist outfit or something.
So here's a quick brief piece of that. And I do love the skit beforehand. Like if you're going to find a way to make it interesting, I mean, obviously that was done up on the big screen, very Weird Al-esque ways, to try to give them time to go get changed into their costumes. So they had this like, what are they doing backstage while they're changing, and then had them come out like this. Great concept. Weird Al had been doing it for years. I love that Steve looks over as he starts singing, and almost like he's like, "What are you doing?"
Find your sickness on my list. Pay up front and make a wish.
I mean, it's definitely them trying to do something different and doing a little performance art to make the concert fun. So I enjoy that.
It works as a gimmick for the live show. I don't need the like recorded version on a special edition.
No,
like,
it's more visual for sure.
Yeah.
To me.
So one thing musically that they added to the song that's not in the original album cut is when they get to the end of the first bridge, they give Kevin kind of like two measures where he gets that and then they go into the next verse.
Find self-respect. I haven't had much of it since you left. I missed out on the best of you.
Which I'm pretty sure isn't on the original album track version.
I think you're right.
But it's pronounced in one of the chips and dip versions when Kevin's on the accordion that you sent us, Tracy. They definitely do it there. And it confuses the audience sometimes where they're like, is it over? They like got to the end of a thing and then there's like a 2-measure break and then they start singing again. And it's like half of the song is still left. But the ultimate version of that being on the Play Everywhere for Everyone tour, there was the impromptu Kevin singing in that part, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. And then they call in response of Crosby, Stills, and Johnson, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, Crosby, Stills, and Johnson. Which then gets inserted into the DNA of the song. And for the latter half of the song, instead of singing bye, 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 they're singing Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. And then when Steve and I think Kevin are kind of have the bye, 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 like back and forth between each other. They're literally singing Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. It feels like something they did completely on the fly. If you listen to the Atlanta, Georgia version of the Play Everywhere for Everyone track of Some Fantastic, it feels like something they completely improvised because Steven is laughing in the middle of the song. and then they get to the end of the song and they like, it feels like they were all just like, what did we just do? But it was great. And I think they did it one or two other times on the Play Everywhere for Everyone whatever, Everywhere for Everyone tour. But like, it's not something that they like ever really implemented into a recorded version. It was like a special thing. But to me, that is the one that's like really valuable and resembles the fun of a Bare Naked Ladies live show in the best possible way.
Agreed. Like that, it's those moments that that's what I love the most about B&L concerts is just like you get these moments of spontaneity where things just pop out of nowhere. And they will never do it again in exactly that same way.
And it's not just the fact that they said something funny. It's that they were in the middle of singing a song. They decided to do the song almost completely differently. And just, it works.
Yeah, if I'm going to a concert, I try to be like present and not take a lot of videos and photos. But if I'm taking a video, it's during an ad lib because they're so hard to replicate. And they're usually the best part.
And I like how Steve has that built into his live shows now with the joyful strum, whatever he calls that. Feel good strum.
Feel good. Yep.
And sometimes it gets a little repetitive when you can tell the songs they're improvising aren't like they've done before. But usually there's one or two that they're like completely trying out of nowhere on the feel good strum that you're like, okay, they went for it.
Or if he's trying to discuss whatever beverage he has concocted for, it's usually some sort of disgusting combination of Clamato or something else, like the leftover drippings of something. And he'll make a song about it, usually to that kind of.
I like Steve trying to explain the story of him sitting on the toilet talking to Jesus before he sings "I Can See My House from Here."
Still one of my favorite Steven songs of the new age. So
most definitely,
for sure.
Never skip it.
Anyway,
we haven't talked about the Persuasions version very much and I think This is one of those ones where I actually really enjoy the Persuasions version of the song. Like, even though they don't do something completely different, the background harmonies and what they're doing with the background harmonies really work for me on this song.
The depth that they bring is great. And it works too. And we've talked about this before on another random episode where we were talking about some fantastic, when we were talking about the Persuasions. We've talked about how like some of them are just plug and play. Like, okay, you're going to sing the Steve parts. And for this one, it just works, like, because it feels like it's that playful, like it's BNL and it's the Persuasions. It doesn't feel like anyone's losing anything or getting something taken away from them, or just like unnecessarily handing it over when Ed already sang it just fine. Like, it feels just right to have that balance.
Mm-hmm. And I always love it, but I love hearing Kevin on the piano with this.
Oh, yeah. The one thing I will say, and it's the most important line in the song for me, it's in the third verse when Steven sings, "Someday I will find the secret to your social chemistry. Then I'll print it on a t-shirt." And that's the best line in the song, because Ed comes in with that really strong harmony.
Someday I will find the secret to your social chemistry. Then I'll print it on a t-shirt.
That they've done a couple harmony lines in the verses before. You were the greatest friend of all, right? They do the harmonies in the verses, but for some reason the printed on a t-shirt, like that harmony hits really hard in the album version and the live versions that they do. And for some reason on the Persuasions version, there's only one person singing that line. They didn't go for the harmony on that line. And it's very confusing.
I wonder if that means something special to them, and Ed did not want to, like, it was one of those inside jokes from the band, and Ed did not want to sully that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But in my opinion, the best part of the song, and you guys can hopefully agree with me, is the last chorus, when normally Steve would sing "There's a lot I will never do, some fantastic, I know it's true." And the third chorus is when Ed comes in and he's got the harmony. "There's a lot I will never do, some fantastic, I know it's true." And like that harmony, like makes the third chorus really climax in a way that, you know, the song could peter out towards the end, but it really builds. And it works so well. And like, it's one of those great harmonies. So fun to sing along with in the car.
Yeah, it definitely intensifies it.
Agreed.
I feel like I'm just saying this stuff that like I've been sitting on for like the 2 years ever since I claimed this song.
Percolating.
Like, if I don't say it, who's gonna? Start talking about the meaning of the lyrics soon, or I'll lose my chance.
We should get to the lyrics. I do want to talk about two other versions of this song before we get to the lyrics. One, I do enjoy the Ships and Dips 3. Let me say it again so I can get it out. Ships and Dips 3. Because Steve forgets that he's not supposed to start the song.
Yeah. I love that. Oh, yeah. He's like, hold on, you're supposed to be singing.
Anytime, like, it's those moments, because they have such good humility about themselves that, like, I love those moments when they mess up and he's just like very like, wait a minute, you're supposed to start this song.
I think that's even more endearing, though, and it shows just how strong they are of live performers. Strong they are as live performers, that they can just kind of joke it off.
Yeah,
that they don't get like flustered by it or anything.
Exactly. So the other thing did I send you guys the fan-made video of this song?
I don't recall. I don't think so.
You sent it to me. I watched about 20 seconds and then turned it off.
After about 20, it gets better as it goes on. The first 20. So, I mean, the first thing to know about it is that, like, it's made by high schoolers. So you have to kind of lower your expectations a little bit in that form. But as it goes on, it gets a little bit better.
A little bit?
A little bit better, actually. Yeah.
Not so promising. Let's not make me want to click the link.
And by the end of it, it's kooky enough and quirky enough that I'm like, actually, I kind of like this take on it, and I'm enjoying it. I had to get past the first, like, I would say 30, 40 seconds. But after that, I was like, actually, I'm into this. This is kind of neat. So good job. And they did it on zero budget. So, once again.
I think for me, something about this song, it's the time of the episode where Tyler says the lyrics wash over his face. Like I think I went for like most years of my life before I picked up the this song's on disc 1, all their greatest hits, right?
I don't know. I'd have to.
Is it anyway? At some point, I picked up the liner notes of something and read the little jokey explanation of like, it's about a guy who fell in love with his lab assistant too late, and then I was like, I guess that's what the song is about. I never cared or noticed.
It's not on disc 1.
So it must be on the stunt liner notes. And I read that part, but not the part about it being Ivory and Ivory, interestingly enough. But yeah, the guy who's in love with his lab assistant thing, never clocked for me. I don't know what I thought the song was about.
Yeah, I'm not finding it on anything like that.
No.
I don't.
I'm looking it up.
Did you have some kind of weird dream there, Tyler?
I don't know. I vaguely I remember like opening up a liner note thing and there being like a pithy 2-sentence explanation of what the song was about, and that being it.
I'm trying to think if there's another song that you could be connecting that.
There was
to.
Some comments on Genius that said something to that effect.
Yeah, but the one on Genius, I don't know.
Maybe I'm remembering the pithy explanation of Enid.
Oh, maybe.
Let me double check.
It's about a guy who's in love when he's 16 and doesn't nobody cared. Like, yeah, hard to say.
Yeah, because.
Do you guys like the message of the song?
So what do you guys? So here's my take on the message of the song. Steve and Ed, especially Steve, loves to write these songs about the asshole boyfriend who knows that he's an asshole and has some, is very understanding of the fact that he's got some major flaws. Usually the person's very self-aware. I almost feel like this is Steve and Ed going, we should write one where the asshole boyfriend isn't aware that he's an asshole.
I get that. Yeah.
The guy in this song is very scary. Like as it goes on, I get more and more concerned
about his ideas.
Yeah, like
experiments.
The first idea of basically finding or building the fountain of youth, not finding, he's going to build his own fountain of youth, and then he's also going to market an elixir that eliminates the common cold, but not just the common cold. Like, I guess he's going to mix these two experiments now, and people are going to make a wish on this fountain, and the elixir is going to then cure their sickness. Like, it gets kind of convoluted there for a second.
Yeah, he definitely has like questionable ethics because, pay up front and make a wish.
Yeah.
My thought was he invents a fountain of youth type situation, and then instead of marketing it as a cure for everything, it's just like cold medicine. And then secretly the people who are buying cold medicine are getting this magical elixir that will solve all of their health problems. And it's like, I sneakily did something that was very kind for humanity, and I didn't make a big deal out of it. I'm a nice guy. You should date me.
But then no one's ever going to grow old either.
Yeah.
He's giving them all the cure to everything and aging.
Unless it just kills them and then I can't grow old.
Well,
little
that
iocane powder.
I mean, that kind of would go with the pieces that come in later in the song.
Well, he might be a little murdery. We don't know.
And then we get the next. So Steven comes in with his idea, which has a wonderful B&L turn. This is when we get that wonderful B&L turns and it kind of deviated sickness a little bit. One day I will work with animals. All the tests I'm gonna do. wait. What? All my stuff's completely natural. And when we're done, we'll boil them down for glue. What? Wait. Wait a minute. You just took a very dark turn here, Steven.
But the glue is going to be used to readhere your lips to mine if you were here.
Yeah, it gets very rapey.
Glue our lips together.
Wait a minute.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, so you're going to glue
who would want that, right?
lips together?
Of course, glue.
To be fair, the chorus says, "There's a lot I will never do."
Never do.
Something fantastic. I know it's true.
Just
not as much as I want to be with you.
With you.
I think the chorus is supposed to say, like, these are all the crazy things I could do if I dedicated my life to science, but instead I want to dedicate my life to you.
Thank God.
That's a good point. I never really thought about it that way.
So be glad that I am not a scientist.
You're all I have, baby. If I didn't have you, I'd be crazy.
The world would be a worse place.
Yeah, that's a great thing to build your relationship on.
Do we think it's two authors then? Do we think it's one person that this is about, or where it's two people singing and they kind of take turns spinning ideas?
They're both competing with how great their inventions would be if they weren't in love with the same lab assistant.
Maybe it could be what is that, like a love triangle?
Well, that goes back to the Ebony and Ivory, which the other song that Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder did together were "The Girl Is Mine."
Oh yeah,
that's a different song. "The Girl Is Mine." Brandon.
Yeah, that girl.
Oh, sorry, Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney. Sorry, but yeah, "The Girl Is Mine," which is a feuding over a girl. Maybe it's two people.
Do you think the machine will work where you're waiting in a long line?
I was just reading that. Yeah.
And then it measures up the distance and then eliminates the folks. I don't think that will work.
How?
So that kind of brings in. I think you're right that there's two authors.
Maybe.
Maybe. I didn't even think about that.
Maybe there's a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Maybe.
Could be.
Well, here's why I say it's two authors. The Steven character has already been in a relationship with this person and has lost her. Mm-hmm. The Ed person has not yet, because he's trying to wait in line. He's trying to get rid of the line between him and her to eliminate all the folks between, so he gets to her quicker. Whereas all the Steve verses say that they were in a relationship and they are no longer in a relationship.
Possibly.
Because
I don't know if that lines up 100%.
Yeah.
You will use the glue to re-adhere your lips to mine if we were here. So they had to have been adhered before. They had to have been together before. And then on the second pass around, one day I'll construct a satellite, name it after you, because you were the greatest friend of all, except for when you split my lip in two. So there's that past relationship that's there. And then on the last one, someday I'll find the chemistry then you'll see that all the other jerks are with me. Are all the other people are jerks except for me.
The last verse is definitely the most confusing one. The secret to your social chemistry. I don't know what social chemistry is. And then how do you put that on a t-shirt?
All I can
What's
think
the
of is
secret?
that it's like some sort of band T-shirt, maybe that they both kind of connect with, or like some sort of fandom.
Like,
or
what do you?
something.
Yeah.
It feels like it's this one weird trick that I keep reading about on ads on the internet.
This one secret
Like,
ingredient.
wear this
Click
one,
here,
wear
click
this
here,
T-shirt,
click
and it'll make women want to sleep with you.
here.
Yeah, there's nothing
I mean-
rapey about that at all.
No, nothing at all.
No.
No, if I wear it past your work, you'll see all those other guys are
I said
idiots.
jerk. Right.
How
Although
many
if
other
someone was
songs?
wearing like a hypercolor T-shirt, I'd definitely pay attention to them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I remember Hypercolor.
Remember those?
Yes, I do. Those are so
There's some
sweet.
social chemistry. Yeah.
But how many other songs work the word pheromones into their lyrics?
That's a good question.
That is a B&L thing right there.
Yeah, I'm sure Aesop Rock got it in there one time.
Probably.
But I think the bridge is where it ties it all together. Of course, the line "I missed out on the best of you," partially the creepiest line in the song, but also partially the line that explains the song. It's like, maybe we had a fling a while back, or maybe like, there was stuff left unsaid between us a while back. And now I'm realizing that you were the one, but it's been too long and I blew it. We should have done something back in the day when we were working in the science lab together. But now I've gone on to do different things. But the adventures that I have in my science lab will never be as fantastic as my desire to be with you.
Well, and that line of like, bye-bye self-respect, I haven't had much of it since you left. Like, this guy is putting a lot of his own self-worth on the fact that he's not with this person. Like, wait a minute. You lost all your self-respect because you didn't go after that relationship?
Well, they never said that he is dealing with a full deck, so maybe he's
That
kind
is
of
true.
starting off.
It is
like,
kind of
some
a
sort of like
cray-cray
cognitive
song. Like,
challenge or something, or I don't know. Takes all types, right?
it's got some crazy idea. Yeah, it's kind of cray-cray song.
Do you guys think that the line to see the look upon your face as I launch you into space, do you think that is a throwback to the Honeymooners?
Oh, to the moon,
To
Alice.
the moon, Alice.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, come on, there's reruns. Tyler. To the moon, Tyler.
To the moon.
Because it feels almost like he's like, okay, yeah, you split my lip once. Yeah, to the moon.
See the look upon your face. That's
Maybe
my
she's
favorite
always
line,
wanted
I
his
think.
face.
I don't know. I love that line.
Yeah, that is probably the best lyric in the song. Not the best song because that's still printed. Not the best song line because that's still printed on a T-shirt. But the best lyric, yeah, I agree with you, is see the look on your face as I launch you into space.
Yeah, it's a great little lead up that whole paragraph has been coming to.
And naming a satellite after someone is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
That is. I mean, satellites are powerful.
But you think that like, oh, he's doing this nice, wonderful, romantic thing.
No, he's
doing
revenge.
it to get back at. I don't know. I like that. I think that's the problem that I have with this song. The trouble with Tracy is like, when you do a deep dive on what this song is about, it gets really, really disturbing.
I think it's tongue in cheek in the classic Bare Naked Ladies way.
Oh, definitely. But if I went to go sing, I can't. This isn't like one of those songs I can sing as I'm walking down the halls of my school. Like
I think it's nonsensical enough that you could.
I work in an elementary school. the launch you into space line, and the other, like the social chemistry line, like.
I promise to you, Tracy, these kids are hearing much worse things on the radio.
Oh, much
The
worse.
radio.
Oh, yes, but I don't need to contribute. No, I I love everything about this song. I can't explain why, because as we dive deep into it, it's disturbing. And I think actually that may be part of why. Like, I like a good disturbing song that is also
with a nice poppy.
You're a little twisted, Tracy. You're
a lot.
You're kind of twisted. You're like the Joker in that way.
He's so serious.
You don't see the world like other people see the world.
No.
Right? That's why you have a podcast. So people can just hear your twisted take on the world.
Oh boy. Where are we going? What is happening right now? Oh, sugar.
The trouble with Tracy this week is society.
The trouble with Tracy is probably Tracy. But you know what? They'll never figure out what's wrong with me. It's just something you'll never find.
Wow.
That's next week's song, by the way. But we're still talking about this week's song, so we should probably talk a little bit about what we think in terms of ratings for this song. I'm trying to think what a good rating would be for this song.
Pheromones.
How many
Satellites.
I like pheromones, Tyler.
Yeah, because they are.
Glue.
I forgot I've been muted because the dog barked.
Lip
don't know what
glues.
How many sociopaths?
Elixirs.
I like the social chemistry. How many
elements, periodic
How many
table.
secrets to your social chemistry?
How many chemistry t-shirts?
How many Crosby, Stills, and Nashes?
Oh, I do have my Bare Naked Ladies chemistry teacher. Maybe there's some kind of connection there. The Bare
I
Naked.
have that shirt too.
I love that shirt.
You kind of stopped fitting me a while ago.
I need to.
That happens as you get old. That will happen someday too. But how much self-respect do you give this song? How about that?
You know what? That's the best one.
That is pretty good. Yes.
How many self-respects?
We'll go with self-respects.
0
haven't
to
had
5,
much
how
of
much
it.
self-respect do you give this song? It's about as close as we're going to get at this point, I think. I'm losing self-respect in my ability to come up with things for this song. So why don't we go with Tyler? You're used to this. Like, let's give you the podium first.
You're used to getting put on the spot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we mentioned it. I kind of just, threw my name out for this song a long time ago because it's one of the best Bare Naked Ladies songs.
Yeah.
It's kind of just hard to ignore the fact that, like, there's something about this song. Was it a single?
No. I'll double check that, but I don't think this.
If it was like the third or fourth single down from this album after 1 week.
And
I don't even know
done.
what. It's all been done. Did they ever do Call and Answer as a single?
I'm looking to see if I think Call and Answer was also one. So I think that's the list.
The idea that this could be like the fourth best song on this album and still one of the greatest Bare Naked Ladies songs.
That's because this is one of the best albums ever.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So there were 5 singles from Stunt. This was not one of them.
All right. So we had 1 week and
1 week. It's all been done. Call and Answer.
Oh yeah. That's
Alcohol.
Okay.
Told You So.
Told You So was a weird one.
It was a single.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
right.
5th. It was way down. It was only on cassette. But I mean, after a certain point, you've almost released the whole album at that point.
Yeah. You'd think they'd do like one of the weirder ones at that point, like Who Needs Sleep or.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But you make an excellent point. Like the fact that you have to go, I would say you have to go down to the 5th song on this album before you hit this song says a lot about this album.
Yeah. So it's one for the fans, right? It's one, like, if you know Bare Naked Ladies and you're at a concert in 2002, this is the one you hope they play. It's not a guarantee that they're going to play it though. but it's one of their better songs. And I think Steve and Ed knew on the Bathroom Sessions recording that this is the one that like is the ultimate version of the Bathroom Sessions. Like, it's also like, I don't know, it feels to me like it's the best Bathroom Sessions song, which is arguable, but it's because it has Ed and Steve. There's probably something better that's just Ed playing it, because it's so interesting to see what he does by himself. But the combination on the Bathroom Sessions. So the reason I traced it back to when I first wanted to be on this podcast. One of the first songs I appeared on this podcast for was Enid. And that similarly felt like one of the quintessential Bare Naked Ladies songs. That's not the song that's on the top 5 Spotify trending, but it's, if you're a Bare Naked Ladies fan, you know it. It's one of the classics that all the BNL fans love. So it's 5 self-respects without a doubt for me.
All right.
That's a lot of self-respect.
Well, this song's been in a lot of therapy.
It's very not Rodney Dangerfield.
This song's been doing a lot of CBT, both kinds, to get up to this point.
T or D?
Betsy, what do you think about this song?
Well, I think it's kind of the formula that Bare Naked Ladies uses, where they have like a bright, poppy, catchy tune, and then the lyrics are kind of have darker undercurrents to them. And also kind of true to form, it's kind of a, like a lost love kind of song, not necessarily breakup song, but just kind of like, talking about an ex or a relationship that they had. So I don't know. I think the author is definitely like not completely on his rocker to start with. And then I think this whole thing of he lost someone that he kind of realized after the fact might have been, hindsight's 2020, and sometimes the things that you remember are actually better than what they were in all reality. Mm-hmm. But it still seems like he wants her back, and so he's kind of in his own brain theorizing how. So I like all the theorizing of all the crazy ideas. And I like the harmonizing. I like the effects that Kevin was doing. There's something about it that kind of kept it out of the forest for me. Can't put my finger on it. There's just something. Maybe the sound was a little redundant in times, but overall, I think it's a very good song. So I think I'll give it a 3.9 self-respect.
Ooh, okay.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. All right. We're going to have some variability on this. Heidi.
I am like Tyler. I really love this song very, very much. It's one that I know doesn't make a whole lot of sense in a lot of ways, but there are so many lines that have just been burned in my brain. And I think, again, I love the verse about I can't stand to wait in line long, so I built a new machine. Because every time I'm in line, I'm like thinking about that.
That's another BNL turn in that moment. I love that.
I love that, and I often sing to myself in situations to see that look upon your face when I launch you into space. I just love, and the harmonies on the bridge of Bye Bye Self-Respect I love very much. So I am going to, this is one of my favorites, so I'm going to give this a 4.8 self-respect.
4.8. You lost a little self-respect there, but not much.
Not a whole lot. Like, I was wavering between 4.9 and 4.8, but I think it's close. It's close. I'm going to stick with that. I may change it for the year in review.
I will put that in yellow and see if you do. I will highlight that one.
Mellow yellow.
I guess that leaves me. I was
it's all
really
down to Tracy.
hoping that I would have more time to kind of think this one out, because this is a struggle for me. I love this song, and my struggle isn't like, oh, how low do I throw this down? No, my struggle is this a 5? It's such an unusual song. That Brazilian beat, like, good job, Ed, like, with going, let's do something completely different. It sounds like nothing else on this album, and with it being almost the last song on this album, and at the same time, like, Told You So and then right into this is, it's like that nice little dessert that you have at the end of a meal. This is actually where I end the album when I'm listening to it. And I know I'm gonna hear it from it when we get to When You Dream. I know I'm gonna hear about that.
Well, are you listening to the deluxe edition? Because you can skip right to She's on Time, and that's a solid choice.
That's how I would have finished the album, because that would have been a better follow up for me. But we'll get to that when I reorder the album. But like, this is just that wonderful dessert at the end of this. I want to say almost perfect album, and you know what? I'm going to give it a 5. I have to give it a 5.
You know, the more you say that, now I'm regretting my 4.8. You know what? I think I have to go with a 5 too. You're right. I love everything about this song. Why I was being so hesitant, I don't know. But yeah, no, it's up there.
It's got that thing where it doesn't feel like any other Bare Naked Ladies song.
Yes.
And yet it feels like the most Bare Naked Ladies song.
Yes, Tyler. Right. I know, like, that's exactly it. Yes. No, it's a 5 for me, dog.
All right.
Let's all just stare at Betsy for a little while.
Just the hater of the week.
Oh, there goes our 5s.
3.9 is still very respectable.
It is. It's actually
maybe I'm just tired and cranky. I'm sorry. I might come back to it later then.
No, you are totally allowed to be like, you know what, this isn't the song for me.
Let me feel my feelings, Tracy.
Because honestly, it is a quirky, different song, and it's taking a big swing there, and like, it's going to work for some people, it's not going to work for others. So I respect that. I don't have an appearance for this week because we have 7.
We had 6 different versions of the song.
That's what I was just going to say. Yeah. So I would recommend listening to all of them, because this is one of those songs that never gets old for me. Like, I listened to it so many times this week and still can continue listening to it. Matter of fact, I think my kids rolled their eyes a few times because I had to listen to the song so many times. So yeah, I'm going to have people go out and listen to those this week if they're looking forward to it. Tyler, what can people find you doing?
Thank you, Tracy. They can who can people find me doing? Ooh.
I mean, I can tell you what you're doing right now, but
yeah, they can find me incessantly grading tests and quizzes. No. So my podcast is the Amateur Nerds Podcast, where Condra, my sister, and Condra is my sister. It sounded like 3 people. It's 2 people, me and her. We spend most of our time doing movie by minute of High School Musical. We have finished High School Musical 1 and High School Musical 2. We are currently in between seasons. We're going to throw out a couple in between season movie reviews. We already did one for Hocus Pocus that released on Halloween. And you'll catch a couple other like High School Musical adjacent genre movies. We're hoping to do one on Grease, or for some reason we want to do Spice World. So
for some reason.
Subscribe to the Amateur Nerds Podcast and look out for that stuff.
And if you want to join us on any of our platforms, then we would love to have you send us a postcard with chimpanzees to barenakedabcs@gmail.com, and we hope to hear from you.
No, yeah. You guys know I love you. And literally talking about Bare Naked Ladies for an hour and 20 minutes comes at no difficulty for me. It is nice to be surrounded by people who are also capable of doing that.
One of us.
I mean, I was looking for the perfect ending to this episode, but you know what? I've come to accept it's something I'll never find.
Wow.
Oh, there it is.
Not as good as your NFL bye week joke from earlier.
My Lord. Rolling on his segue again.
Hey, whenever I can. Well, thank you for joining us, and thanks. That was fun.
Thanks, that was fun. Don't forget, no regrets, except maybe one.
To celebrate joining Pantheon Podcasts, Rock Camp, the podcast, the official podcast of Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, is giving away a guitar signed by Mike Portnoy of Dream Theater, Marty Friedman, formerly of Megadeth, and legendary shredder Zakk Wylde, plus our rockstar counselors like Vinny Appice, Monty Pittman, and more. To enter to win, simply follow, rate, and review our podcast on your preferred platform, and that's all you have to do. For more information, go to rockcamp.com/podcast.